Hi everyone, hope you're doing okay today and I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I kind of wanted to go over some of my thoughts as far as like how I'm going to approach the fall, winter, and then the pre-spawn segment with some of these bigger swim baits and kind of give you, which baits I'm going to probably be targeting some fish with, and, just kind of get a conversation going as to what to try to expect. And I hope everyone will kind of chime in down below in the comments. Give me your ideas as to what you're planning on doing this winter, fall, and then going into the pre-spawn. So, well, moving straight into it. So here in East Tennessee, where I'm located, I'm going to keep throwing the Jethro probably as long as I can get good attention out of it. So this is the Jethro 6.0. This is actually a new color that I've come out with. This is the Ghost Purple Gizzard. I don't know how well it can show up, but you can kind of see the disc semi-transparent in the belly section. So I'm working on trying to get a ghost lineup, or a kind of clear lineup for some of our clear highland reservoirs around here in East Tennessee. So I'm working on that, but regardless, I really want to use this bait both to target the glide bait fish as well as, as these fish start getting into this cooler water, the jerkbait fish. I truly believe that I should be able to target much of the same fish that the jerkbait really takes care of, and hopefully with the bigger profile of the glide bait, although it's pretty similar to a jerkbait from the the thickness portion, much larger profile when you stack it up side by side, looking at it broadside. So we'll see how that goes this year. I've had good success on glide baits in the fall. And then as we kind of want to look for that bigger fish in the fall, I do have the new Jethro 8.0. That's, so basically, 7.5 to 8 inches from the tip of the nose to the end of the tail. But it's the new bait that I've just came out with, and I'm really getting some good responses out of the fish with it. I hope to be getting some really good fish catches with it for you all soon on this new bait. Still relatively thin compared to the other Jethro. I mean, to look at them side by side, it's longer. It is taller also, but still right around about the same thickness on that. So looking at it from that standpoint, but the bait has basically the same action. So once again, targeting those same jerkbait fish that I was looking for with the standard Jethro, just looking for a bigger fish that's looking for a bigger gizzard shad type meal. I've got this one painted up to be the purple gizzard right now, but I'm going to try to get some trout patterns coming out for the winter time. Many of our lakes here in East Tennessee do get stocked with trout. South Houston, Watauga, Boone all have trout in them. So hopefully go from there. Also during the fall, I'm going to be throwing the hot rod shad. So this is the hot rod shad. Once again, this is also a transparent color. It's the purple ghost, or it's the Ghost Purple Gizzard shad. There we go. But it's transparent bait on the belly. I plan on doing this very similar to like the Jethro Glide, except I'm going to wake this bait. Wake baits are really good here in the fall, and I plan on using this bait to just absolutely stay up on the surface, keep the rod tip high, and just wake it along, give this real pretty V-wake, and see if I can get some fish to come up and eat it. So we'll see how that goes, but looking forward to getting that one out there this year. So that is some of my baits that I make that I'm planning on throwing this fall, but by no means will that be all that I'm throwing this fall. So here is one of probably the most, very well-known big swim baits right now, and I will be throwing this fall, especially when they're on a soft bait. This is the Mega Bass. What is it? This is the 8-inch mag draft. I really like the mag draft. I've caught a ton of fish on the 6-inch during tournaments, and then I really like throwing the 8-inch, just a bigger meal, looking for a bigger fish. Same thing as always. I'm be skipping this up under docks a lot, around marinas, and then also just around laydowns and while the fish are up shallow. I'll probably keep this bait tied on through somewhere in the mid 50s. I'll probably start taking it off and switching it out to the Huddleston, and I'll show that here in a minute. But that is my game plan for this fall, is to throw this, as far as soft baits go, early in the fall and try to catch some fish on the 8-inch mag draft. All right, and now one of my favorite baits to throw in the fall throughout the pre-spawn is the Alabama rig. This is one of my Alabama rigs. I do make mine, but you know, by no means are mine the greatest Alabama rigs in the world. But one of the reasons I do make mine is because I want a very flexible wire, and I hope that kind of gets shown a little bit easier. But when it comes through the water, I want this bait to be able to really pulse in the water column. I want it to be able to flex, and I want the fish to be able to see it dance and moving like the bait is trying to scatter and regroup, and it just can't figure what it's trying to do. So I will be throwing the Alabama rig a lot. I really enjoy throwing an Alabama rig, and I've caught some really nice fish doing it. So I'm sure that I'll at least have one rod with an Alabama rig on, as well as while the fish are schooling. And I've got some video that hopefully I can get shared in the next couple of weeks. But if you see fish schooling and you're seeing them jump, especially the smallmouth, the Alabama rig is a phenomenal tool for schooling fish, not just like the Super Spook, to be able to throw in or throw over them. I've caught smallmouth out of, you know, over 100 feet of water, and you're just catching them. They're schooling on bait. They're probably only, you know, within top 5 feet of the water column. So just throw in the Alabama rig and you can really catch some nice fish doing that. And then the spook, of course, also. But in exchange for the spook, when I go out fun fishing, I am probably going to throw the hot rod shad, just because I want to see if I can trigger a little bit of a bigger fish. We'll see how that works. So you all be along for the ride as that goes. But there's the Alabama rig. I do have this one laced up with Kitex. That's typically what I throw. And I'll throw anywhere from the little 2.8 Kitex up top to, I do have a 4.3 kind of on my center wire, but I'll vary and I'll change out colors. I do like to experiment with colors. As you can kind of see, I've got a natural, a white, and then a very bowed chartreuse. So I typically will do that. Here in Tennessee, we are, you know, I guess state regulated to only 3 hooks. So I do set my rigs up to only carry 3 hooks. On my longest wire, I always run the largest bait that I'm gonna run. So I plan to probably throw some 4.8s this year. Once again, just upping the size of the bait to try to get a bigger bass on it. And then I'm running 3.8s on the left and right bottom wires. So I'll keep you all posted on how that goes, and we'll see how a 4.8 Kitex does in this area of East Tennessee. Okay, so now just kind of keep moving on through the seasons. You know, we all know a crankbait is a phenomenal tool really year-round. It's a year-round bait. So I came up with these, and I'm going to try these a lot this year. This is the Hot Rod Shad Deep Diver, and then this is the Hot Rod Shad in a Shallow Diver. So both of these have a bill. I hope that's able to be seen there. But this bait will actually hit about 6 feet, 6 to 7. I will probably, you know, add some lead tape or some suspend strips if I want to get it down a little bit deeper, or I want to slow the rise on it. This bait, my goal is to be able to get 12 to 15 out of it. I want to be able to get down to those deep fish, you know, your your DT16, honestly, DT16, DT10 definitely is my go to be able to reach with this bait. Once again, just trying to present a bigger meal to some of those bigger bass. It's going to be a fun winter and spring because I'm really looking forward to trying these. They do have quite a bit of action, so we'll see if that is a deterrent or an attraction for the bass. I look forward to seeing that, and you all get to kind of come along the way as I throw some of these. So, you know, targeting really like points, some of the humps that we do have, however few there really are, and some of these big flats. So that's going to be the main stop for these, and I'm going to throw these just all through the winter into pre-spawn. They should be fine. I don't really expect there to be any issues throwing these all through it, but we'll see if the fish will actually, how they respond. You know, ultimately everything comes down to that. If the fish don't respond to it, it's that's your answer on if it'll work. So we'll see as to how these will go, and I'll keep you all posted and updated as far as how my crank down swim baits go. All right, so now let's kind of get into the full-blown winter time. So I'm going to count this as basically, I'm just going to say 55 and down. It could be, you know, I know 55 where you could still get quite a few. I mean, you can still get your wake bait fish. You can still get definitely some glide bait, soft swim bait. They're all going to be there. But I'm just going to count that as my winter transition temperature is around 55. It can definitely vary, so I'm using that very loosely there. But okay, so I will be throwing the 8-inch Huddleston. So this is the 8-inch Huddleston Deluxe ROF 12, so rate of fall 12 in rainbow trout. And on this bait, I have caught fish on this, especially here in East Tennessee. I've actually caught smallmouth on it. That was a very big surprise, but it was about a 4-pound smallmouth, and it ate an 8-inch Huddleston. And I had since added the stinger hook. I caught the smallmouth, you know, stock on the big jig hook. Blew me away as to how it got it in its mouth, but it more so T-boned it, and it got stuck and set the hook and just grind it to the boat. But it was about a 4-pound smallmouth. I'll try to get that footage out to you all. I do have that footage. I was on South Hosting that day, so we'll see as to how that goes. But let me know how you all have had any success throwing the Huddleston. So this is the 8-inch. Let me know if it's like the 68 or the 8. And I'd love to know if somebody's throwing the 10-inch. Definitely would love to know that. But it's a fun bait. I really enjoy it. But how I'll probably fish the Huddleston is going to be the slow row. Well, almost the painstakingly slow row. So the one where basically you move the handle turn within 5 minutes, you've made one handle turn. That's the slow row I'm referring to there. Just inching it on bottom, just kind of like you're, you know, dragging a jig or a worm. So that's my game plan with the Huddleston. At least for the most part. I probably will, you know, as we get late fall to winter, I will probably kind of be more slow rolling it, kind of like just slow rolling a spinnerbait on the bottom, or slow rolling a spinnerbait kind of mid column. So probably do that, and then also kind of mimic that going into the pre-spawn, just slow rolling that around docks, lay downs, any of that kind of stuff in the water. So that's my game plan for the Huddleston. But I've had good luck with the bait, and I really enjoy throwing the bait. And I mean, you know, there's really probably more double-digit bass that have been caught on a 8-inch Huddleston Deluxe than probably any bait in existence, as far as the big swim baits go. It's a very tried and true bait, so it will be on a rod in the boat at all times during the winter time. And I'll probably start, like I said, putting that on in that 55-degree time. So kind of as I'm going through winter, you know, as we get down into those 55-degree temperatures, I will be still throwing the Jethro, both versions, but I will still throw this. And honestly, during the wintertime, I'm going to focus this probably on bluffs, tight to the bluffs. Like I said, sink it down, put suspend dots, lead tape, get it down to, you know, get it down to like the Vision 110, 110+1s area. To me, I can't see as to why a fish wouldn't hit it. If they'll hit it in the springtime, if they'll hit it during the summer, why they wouldn't hit it during the wintertime when they're actually, they get more calories for their energy. You know, so a bigger bait. But the last bait that's going to be in the arsenal this year, for wintertime at least, and it's going to be the Big Omer Trout Glide. So this is the Big Omer Trout Glide. This bait comes in a little over, you know, 11 to 12 inches, depending on where you're measuring. It's really about 11 from the tip to the end of the tail. For a reference, you know, here's the Jethro right at 6 inches. So you can kind of tell it's a pretty substantially larger bait. And then just for reference to where everybody kind of has a better point of reference, you know, the 8-inch Huddleston versus the trout, pretty good sized bait. This bait is going to be, honestly, points and flats. That is my game plan here. Long tapering points that those trout would have just kind of very easily just kind of inched over. The big flats, I can cover so much water. I could pull every fish with on that flat, you know, with something of this size. Speed, and that's the thing that I like about it. I can cover water so much faster just because of the sheer size of it. If there's a fish on there, it should come after it. You know, moving into the winter, I hope to be able to get the live scope on the boat, so that will be also a really good advantage to being able to see, okay, well, what is moving around following this bait? And then you can make adjustments from there. If they're just following the bait, is it something that I need to downsize, or is it simply just like it is in the spring and the summertime? You're gonna get followers on these baits. Their sheer size will pull them. Their curiosity will pull them. But their desire for a giant meal is what I'm hoping to see out of this bait. It's going to be a fun experiment. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be a couple of days with me with a sore shoulder. This bait comes in just, you know, somewhere over 6 ounces, so it's going to be a fun bait to throw. But, you know, these are some of my baits that I'm interested in throwing. I know some people, you know, when it comes to the big swim baits, you know, the Chad Shad, the Hinkle, the Depths 250, phenomenal baits, would never argue that. They're phenomenal baits. But these are just some of the baits that I'm planning on going out and fishing with this fall, winter, you know, really focusing, like I said, bluffs, points, flats, really your typical wintertime fishing areas, and just targeting those areas with a bigger meal. Now, you know, I'm going to do most of this on fun fishing days. I'm not, I wouldn't want to throw away a tournament. If I were going to fish a tournament that day, just throw the tournament away trying to get one big bite. Now, with that said, if you've got, you know, if it's noon and you haven't got a fish in the boat, maybe you want to just swing for the fences and go for the big bass of the tournament. You know, these baits will do it. I mean, without a doubt, you're going for a big fish. Now, with that being said, you know, I mean, caught a 1.5 pound spot on the Jethro, so little fish eat it too. I'm not trying to, you know, say they won't, and we all know that you know, small fish will eat an A-rig. So it's just about trying to get a bigger bite I'd love to be able to break my personal best this coming winter time. You know, right now it's that 6.5 that I had on Watauga. You know, I'll put a link to that video in here if I can, but just trying to break another personal best. I would love to be able to see if I can get a double-digit largemouth, and my goal is between a 7 and an 8 pound smallmouth. Is it possible? I know they live here. Will it happen? Who knows? So, but it's not going to be because I haven't tried to fish for them. So we'll have some fun doing this, and I hope y'all have, you know, you all enjoy this video. I hope y'all stick around for the ride of how this winter goes. I'll try to, like I said, I'll try to be putting out content on the 1st and 3rd Monday of each month. You know, hopefully that goes well, and I can get all that out. But, you know, down below, you know, leave me any comments that you've got, any questions as to like some of the thoughts on the baits. Give me your thoughts on what you're throwing. You know, conventional and swim baits. So, you know, if it's the tight lining the fly, or the, you know, the Gulf minnow, great bait, catches a ton of fish. It's a really good bait. I think about, what, 4 years ago it caught a 9 pound largemouth that I'm aware of. I think so. So it works. So whatever your taste is for wintertime fishing, if you do still wintertime fish, you know, put a comment down below. Let me know what you're throwing. I'd love to talk to you about what you're throwing, what I'm throwing, and we can, you know, see as to how everybody's wintertime fishing's going, because it will get cold, and, you know, as long as you can make it and the motor and the water pump won't freeze up on you, you should be okay to still be able to get out there. I know I've definitely been one of those crazy enough to go and fish when it doesn't get above freezing. But yeah, just leave me a comment down below if you have any questions, any thoughts. Love to talk fishing with you, love to talk baits. You know, if you don't care, hit the subscribe button down below. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. It's just a subscribe button so that you get notifications when I get when I put new videos out. But I do appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy the content that I'm putting, you know, trying to bring forward, just give me a thumbs up, or the like button. I don't know which one it's really called anymore. I think it's both, kind of. So, but yeah, if you enjoy it, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your all's time. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a little bit of a long video, and I know my thoughts are probably a little bit everywhere, but if you have any comments, any questions, and like I said, please give me your take. What's your go-to baits, you know, fall, winter, pre-spawn, because they'll all kind of mesh together. I know everyone's got their favorite color patterns, so you don't have to divulge your secret colors, but give me your ideas. Let me, let's, you know, what are you planning on throwing this fall, winter, early spring? All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video, and hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.